The battle of the rudest chicks in the United States starts now. While no scientific measurement exists to gauge sass, side-eye strength, or passive-aggressive proficiency, a survey we ran last summer gives us all the information we need to make a YouTube video about it. If you're under the impression I do TED Talks or hard-hitting documentaries on psychology, you haven't been paying attention. We ran a survey from June 2024 to September 2024 and asked what state has the rudest women. And at the beginning, we also asked if they were male or female. If they had selected female at the beginning, they got a follow-up section that simply said, "Why do you think this?" We got some very entertaining replies, and I can tell you right now, besides being rude, they're very catty. Let's count down the top 10 states where women are the rudest. Keep in mind, this is all just the opinions of people from a survey. Don't get offended, or do. It might just prove my point. I don't care either way. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Connecticut. Excuse me, I'm walking here. Connecticut women have perfected the art of condescending politeness. The rudeness here isn't about loud arguments or overt insults. It's a steady glance over the rim of their designer glasses as they clutch their Starbucks cup and power walk past you. Dare to slow them down while they're trying to get their yoga mat out of their car? You'll get a curt thanks that somehow sounds like you're ruining my life right now. Their vibe screams, I'm busy being fabulous and can't be bothered with your existence. At dinner parties, you'll find them subtly critiquing your wine selection, saying, "Oh, Pinot Grigio. Interesting choice." Renda or Renda, I'm not sure. It looks like Rhonda, but they have an O there. She said, "It's not the women's fault. This state has garbage cans for men. The only reason I haven't switched teams is I love the D." Connecticut got 189 votes out of just over 8,000. Number 6, Texas. Bless your heart, honey. Texas women may mask their rudeness in syrupy sweet tones, but make no mistake, they're throwing shade harder than a cowboy hat at high noon. "Oh, sweetie, you wore that?" followed by a little pat on your arm, is as brutal as a slap in the face. Let's not even get started on the Karens in Texas or the moms at youth soccer games. One misplaced cheer for the opposing team will earn you a stare colder than a Bluebell ice cream, straight out of the freezer. Texas women are fiercely territorial too. Accidentally take someone's spot in line at the H-E-B? Prepare for a pointed, "Well, I reckon you didn't see me standing there, right?" Bless your heart. And no, that bless your heart isn't genuine. It's a Southern code for "you're a moron." Texas got 246 votes. Belinda said, "We grow up in a state where we don't give two shits about your feelings. So yes, when you start acting like a fragile little 6th grade girl, we're gonna be rude. Man up and don't treat us like your moms. We're not here to kiss your boo-boos." I get the feeling Belinda's going through a bad divorce right now, or she's having problems dating. Number 8, Massachusetts. I'm not rude, you're just soft. That's like their official saying. Massachusetts women have the charm of a nor'easter, cold, intense, and impossible to ignore. They'll yell at you for walking too slowly on the sidewalk and simultaneously criticize your Dunkin' order. Every interaction feels like a verbal sparring match, and if you can't keep up, that's your problem, not theirs. If you're new to the area, don't expect a warm welcome. Try striking up a conversation at the market, a little small talk. You'll get a deadpan. Try and say something like, "Great weather today." She's just gonna stare at you and maybe even say, "What are you, a moron?" Their brand of rudeness saves time though. No need for pleasantries when you can cut right to the chase and move on with your day. 310 people voted that Massachusetts women are the rudest. Janice said, "I wouldn't say we're rude, we're just smarter than you." And stats back that up. Number 7, Illinois. Sorry, we're Chicagoans. That should be their motto. The rudeness of Illinois women is heavily concentrated in Chicago, where patience is shorter than a grenade fuse, and equally as explosive. In true Midwestern fashion, they're polite until you inconvenience them. Block the L train door during rush hour, and a chorus of "Move!" will echo louder than a Cubs crowd at Wrigley Field. Even in the suburbs, Illinois women can't resist a little snark. Miss a PTA meeting? You'll get one of these. "Oh, no worries. I'm sure your schedule is just so packed." More than the rest of us. Illinois got 335 votes. Vivian said, "Winter makes us hard. We can't be polite when we're freezing. Catch us during the summer when we're more kitten and less Wolverine." Number 6, New Jersey. Welcome to the Sass Factory. New Jersey women don't have time for your nonsense, and they'll make sure you know it. Conversations are a rapid-fire mix of sarcasm, blunt honesty, and just enough profanity to make a sailor blush. Got a problem with their attitude? That's your problem, not their problem. They'll let you know that. They might be nice and tell you to go someplace else and work on it. The Jersey girl energy is especially palpable in line at bagel shops. Hesitate for more than 3 seconds while deciding between a poppy seed and a sesame, and you'll be met with a loud, "What's the holdup, princess?" Yes, I've noticed that. It's a big thing in New Jersey that if you're a dude and they want to insult you, they'll call you princess. The women will do it too. But that's not personal. They're just on their way to yell at someone else, and they need you out of the way so they can accomplish their mission. New Jersey got 411 votes. Terry said, "Don't come to New Jersey looking for some sensitive little flower. We ain't got none. You're probably looking for D's nuts anyway." Frickin' New Jersey. Number 5, Florida. Retire somewhere else, Karen. That's their motto. This is the first one that really it's about the Karen situation. And Florida is getting a bad rap here because I think a lot of the people that help build this reputation for the state are the retirees that are coming from New York and Connecticut and Pennsylvania, places like that. They're putting a bad tarnish on Florida's reputation of being laid back. Florida women, though, are a wild card of rudeness. One moment, they're all smiles, asking you where you're visiting from, and the next, they're cutting you off in traffic with the middle finger out the sunroof of their convertible. But if you're in the inner part of the state, it's out the back of their truck window. But the real MVPs of Florida rudeness are the retirees, those part-time snowbirds who run on cocktails, golf carts, and unfiltered opinions. But the reality is the younger Florida women aren't much better. It's just they pile it on with the older retirees. Head to Miami, though, and you'll be treated like an extra in their personal reality show. They'll cut in line at a club, loudly declare how much more VIP they are than you, and shove past you without spilling a drop of their $20 martini. It's a talent, really. And don't forget the moms at Disney World who will straight up body check you to get their kids closer to Mickey. Magical, isn't it? Florida got 467 votes. Natalie said, "If you follow the rules and don't be cheap, we won't be rude." Number 4, Pennsylvania. What are you looking at? That's their motto. The Keystone State doesn't have time for your nonsense. Neither do its women. Philly women, in particular, are a breed of their own. They'll roast you harder than a cheesesteak left in the snow if you step out of line. Mispronounced Schuylkill? That's a death sentence. Wear a Cowboys jersey in Eagles territory? You're basically signing up for public humiliation. Even outside of Philly, Pennsylvania women don't mess around. In Pittsburgh, they'll argue over who makes the best pierogi until the end of time. And if you're not from there, you're automatically wrong. Period. End of story. You're wrong. They're not rude for no reason, though. It's just part of their grit and blue-collar charm most of them have been brought up on. Riley said, "It's not that we're rude, we all just have ADHD with resting bitch face by the time we're 12. Pennsylvania got 513 votes. Number 3, California. Too cool to care. That should be their motto. California women have mastered the art of passive-aggressive rudeness. In Los Angeles, they'll ignore you entirely unless you're like Instagram-worthy. Ask for directions at the nearest coffee place, and they'll stare at you like you just asked them to explain quantum physics. Just use Google Maps. They'll say before floating off into their haze of oat milk and essential oils. Northern California isn't much better. San Francisco women will judge you for not knowing the difference between a single origin or fair trade coffee, all the while pretending that they care about saving the planet. And don't get me started on yoga moms. They're the worst. Yoga moms and wine moms. They're the absolute worst. I grew up in Los Angeles. I know. They'll cut you off in a Whole Foods parking lot, and then they'll lecture you about mindfulness. Namaste, indeed. Yeah, California, I grew up there, and I'll tell you one thing. From my experience, my daughter was almost in high school when she moved up here to Oregon, and when we were down there, and I experienced it when I was in high school, you had to be wearing certain clothes, and you had to have a certain style, or you were ostracized. We moved up to Oregon, nothing like that. Nothing near being like that. We are close to the Nike campus, and I would say there was a little bit of don't wear anything but Nike vibe, but if you wore ripped jeans that were, paint on them, they didn't care. Your brother's t-shirt to school, they don't care. California, you might as well have a wart the size of a softball growing out of your head. California got 798 votes. Kari said, "We have it all, and most of you don't. That's just the way we're raised here. That's how we think. So if you try and talk to a woman in California, we're probably just thinking we're better than you, and, there's no point in talking to you." Number 2, New York. Like I always say, when it comes to New York, most of the focus is going to be on New York City. That's where a majority of the people live, and that's where a majority of their problems come from. Except for this one. This one goes through the whole state. Rudeness to them is a lifestyle. That's their motto. New York women don't think they're rude. They think they're honest. Yeah, there's no sugarcoating here. Just straight up bluntness served with a side of, what are you looking at? Step onto their subway platform with a suitcase and they'll shove past you faster than you can say Times Square. But the rudeness isn't limited to New York City, like I'd said. Upstate women have their own brand of standoffishness. Is that a word? Usually involving icy glares from across the bar. In New York, have a nice day often sounds more like a threat than a pleasantry. It's not personal though, as they'll happily remind you that they're just busy being better than you. New York got 1,009 votes. Mary May, it's kind of a weird combination, but okay, Mary. Mary said, in New York, if you don't have a chip on your shoulder, your friends and family will think there's something wrong with you. So it's mandatory. All right, before we get to number 1, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please do so. And don't forget to leave a comment and a like for this video. It really helps us out. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Rhode Island. Small state, but big attitude. That's their motto, and it's fitting. Don't let the tiny size fool you. Rhode Island women are packed with more attitude per square mile than any other state. These ladies have mastered the art of cutting you down to size with just a look. Suggest that Rhode Island is really just part of Massachusetts, and they'll let you know exactly where you could stick your geography degree. Yes, that happened to me. And no, I didn't actually stick it there, but it was suggested by a Rhode Island woman once. Their rudeness isn't flashy, it's efficient. They'll steal your parking spot at a grocery store, shrug and say, what are you gonna do about it? All the while sipping Dell's lemonade like they own the place, which in their minds they actually do. Rhode Island women have perfected the fine line between charming local sass and I will destroy you. Congratulations, little roadie women. You've earned the top spot today. Megan said, we aren't rude. We hate you. We don't know why, but we hate you. So F off back to New York City. What a pleasant young lady. Rhode Island got 1,207 votes. What the hell is going on in Rhode Island? They beat New York City by almost 200 votes, and they beat California by a bunch. All right, that's today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.